When you think of Japanese food, your mind probably jumps to sushi or ramen. But there is one comfort food the locals are obsessed with, and most tourists completely overlook. It is crispy. It is garlicky. It is meant to be washed down with an ice-cold beer. It is gyoza. In the next few minutes, I'm going to take you on a journey from a 2,000-year-old Chinese dumpling to Tokyo's most legendary gyoza counters, including a tourist hack that will make every bite taste better. Let's go. Here's the thing that surprised me. Sushi gets every Instagram post. Ramen gets the 2-hour lines. But gyoza? Gyoza is what Japanese people actually order without even thinking about it. At the ramen shop, at the izakaya, after work, before the train home. And what is wild is that this dish only became Japanese about 80 years ago. Before that, it was a completely different food, eaten in a completely different country. So the question is, how did a 2,000-year-old Chinese dumpling get reinvented into Japan's favorite snack? Let's start at the beginning. The ancestor of gyoza is the Chinese Jiaozi, and it goes back almost 2,000 years. Legend says it was invented as medicinal food, a way to help villagers survive brutal winters. Now, Chinese jiaozi are usually boiled or steamed. The wrapper is thicker, the bite is chewier, and critically, it is a main dish. A whole plate of jiaozi is a meal in itself, especially during Lunar New Year, when families gather and fold dumplings together. So that is the starting point, a hearty, comforting, 2,000-year-old dumpling. Now, how did this end up in Japan? After World War II, Japanese soldiers came back from Manchuria with the dumpling recipe in their heads. But they came back to a country with very little food and even fewer ingredients. So they adapted. They rolled the wrappers thinner. They cranked up the garlic and ginger to make less filling taste like more. And here is the genius move. Instead of boiling the dumplings, they pan-fried them. That created that signature contrast everyone now craves, a crispy golden bottom and a juicy steamed top. Yaki gyoza was born. Out of scarcity, Japan invented an icon. So here is the side-by-side. Chinese jiaozi has a thicker, chewier wrapper, usually boiled or steamed. It is a hearty main dish, the centerpiece of a meal. Japanese gyoza, on the other hand, has a thin, crisp wrapper, is almost always pan-fried, and is treated as a side dish. You will see it next to a bowl of ramen, next to a plate of fried rice, next to a frosty mug of beer at the izakaya. Same family, totally different soul. Now let me give you a tourist hack that will instantly upgrade every gyoza you eat in Japan. Here is something most tourists do not know. When you order gyoza in Japan, it arrives with no sauce on it. You are expected to mix your own at the table, and there is a golden ratio the locals use. 50% soy sauce, that is shoyu. 50% rice vinegar, that is su. Then a few drops of chili oil, that is rayu. If you love spice, look for the rayu jar where the chili flakes have settled at the bottom. Give it a stir before pouring. That little bit of vinegar is the secret. It cuts straight through the rich pork fat and makes every bite taste cleaner and brighter. Trust me on this one. And here is the move that separates the tourists from the regulars. Before you touch the soy sauce, take your very first dumpling and dip it only in rice vinegar with a single crack of black pepper. That is it. What that does is strip everything back. The vinegar cuts the pork fat. The pepper lifts the aroma. And suddenly, you can taste exactly what the chef put into the filling: the ginger, the cabbage, the meat, the seasoning. Then go ahead and mix your sauce for the rest. One bite, pure. The rest, your way. It is the kind of detail you never forget. All right, you know the history, you know the sauce trick. Now let's actually eat. I am going to give you 3 places in Tokyo, each completely different. One is a pilgrimage spot for serious foodies. One is a national chain that locals genuinely love. And one is the place every salaryman ducks into after work. By the end, you will know exactly where to go depending on your mood, your budget, and how adventurous you are feeling. Spot number 1 is for the real foodies. Get on the train and head out to Kamata. It is right by Haneda Airport. This is the holy land of Hanetsuki Gyoza, or winged gyoza. Here's how it works. Right at the end of cooking, the chef pours a thin slurry of flour and water into the pan. It sizzles, it spreads, and it dries into this delicate, lacy, golden brown crust that connects all the dumplings together in one giant disc. You break it apart with your chopsticks. The crunch is unreal. 2 restaurants invented this style, Nihao and Huan Ying. If you only do one gyoza pilgrimage in your life, do it here. Spot number 2, Gyoza no Ohsho. The name literally means king of dumplings, and it is not an exaggeration. There are hundreds of locations all across Japan. Locals love it, tourists love it, and here is the best part. Most locations now have multilingual touch panel ordering, so even if you do not speak a word of Japanese, you can build your meal in seconds. My move? Order from the just-sized menu. It gives you mini portions of fried rice, mapo tofu, stir fries, so you can stack a perfect combo plate around your gyoza without overeating. Cheap, fast, delicious. Spot number 3 is the one I love personally, Hidakaya. It is the casual Japanese-Chinese chain you will find right next to almost every major train station in Tokyo. It is fast, it is cheap, it stays open late, and it is where everyone, office workers, students, retirees, ducks in for a quick plate of crispy gyoza and a draft beer that costs about 300 yen. That is roughly $2. Sit at the counter, order a plate of gyoza and a beer, and just watch Tokyo come and go around you. Honestly, it is one of the most authentic, real, local experiences you can have in Japan. Now, this is what is happening in 2026. The gyoza scene is exploding with creativity. Chefs are throwing out the traditional pork and cabbage filling and going completely wild. Wagyu beef, coriander, keema curry, cheese and tomato. They are calling it Neo Gyoza, and it is the biggest food trend in Tokyo right now. And if you are visiting during Golden Week, that is late April to early May, you have to go to the Craft Gyoza Fes at Komazawa Olympic Park. Over 30 vendors, regional specialties, all the new Neo Gyoza creations in one place. Just one warning, it is mostly cashless. Make sure your Suica card or Apple Pay is loaded and ready before you walk in. So, that is the journey. From a 2,000-year-old Chinese dumpling, to scarcity-driven Japanese reinvention, to the crispy winged gyoza of Kamata, the touch panel comfort of Ohsho, the late-night magic of Hidakaya, and the wild new world of Neo Gyoza. The next time you are in Tokyo, do me one favor. Skip the obvious sushi spot. Find a counter, order a plate of gyoza, mix the golden ratio, and take your first bite with just vinegar and pepper. And let me know how it goes. If this video helped, smash that like button, subscribe for more Tokyo deep dives, and I will see you in the next one. Itadakimasu.